It may seem like a long time ago, but it was only a week ago that the Midlands was in the grip of snow and ice. Even then, it was a mere chill compared to 50 years ago.
Yes, the winter of 1963 was the harshest for 200 years. So cold, in fact, that the sea began to freeze over. Our correspondent Peter Bean has been trawling through the archives to see how our region fared.
It wasn't so much a cold snap, more like a mini ice age.
Totally every day was just frozen. You know, it just never went.
There've been some harsh winters since, but nothing like the big freeze of 1963. It actually began in 1962. The snow arrived on Boxing Day and stayed put for over 2 months. Blizzards from the east led to drifts several feet deep. Tractors delivered food to cut off villages. Trains ploughed their way through the Midlands, but still needed a helping hand at times. Elmdon Airport in Birmingham came to a standstill. Fun and games on the roads too. This car in North Derbyshire going nowhere fast. For children, though, it was a winter wonderland. Jeff Francis was 14 at the time and living on a farm at Whitley Court in Worcestershire. He and his 2 brothers had a whale of a time.
We used to wake up in the morning with dew on the bed, and they were very long days, and we were very tired and very wet and very soggy, but it was great, absolutely fantastic.
One of the favourite haunts of Jeff and his family in 1963 was this lake known as the Washing Pool. Back then, as now, it was frozen. But back then, health and safety went out the window.
We realised that at 15 to 18 inches thick, the ice, my father thought it would withstand the weight of the Jeep. So we gingerly went on with the Jeep, and once he'd been on there, that was it. We were there every 5 minutes, every spare half hour we could, lunch hours, you know, scooting round and around, having a great time.
January 1963 was the coldest month of the 20th century. Cold enough to freeze the Emperor Fountain at Chatsworth and turn rivers like the Welland in Lincolnshire into skating rinks. Temperatures fell as low as -19 degrees centigrade. The average maximum temperature for January was -0.33 degrees. If you had any sense, you stayed well indoors. But life went on. People in Birmingham struggled into work and very few schools closed.
I like the snow.
Well, don't you mind being cold then?
Pardon?
Don't you mind being cold?
I do, but it's nice.
Yeah. What about you?
I think it's dreadful.
You do?
Yeah, definitely. It's too cold for me. Well, I don't mind it really, as long as it's not too windy.
The big freeze brought massive disruption to the sporting calendar, especially football. One match, the FA Cup third round tie between Lincoln City and Coventry City, was postponed a record 14 times. Lincoln fan Chris Ashton was 9 years old. He remembers the valiant efforts of the ground staff as they fought a losing battle.
The ground staff and the helpers had to get pneumatic drills out because it was that thick it wouldn't move. So it went off and off and off. It just went on and on. City only played 2 games in that entire spell.
Pitch inspections came and went. Coventry manager Jimmy Hill took his players to Ireland to get some football. Finally, on the 6th of March, the game went ahead at the 15th time of asking and 60 days after it was scheduled.
What happened? We lost. Is the answer 3-1.
The big freeze lingered on until early March. Then came the big thaw, and with it severe flooding like here in Worcester. The Midlands had shivered, struggled, but survived. And those who were there will never forget it.
Oh, incredible pictures there, and it puts our recent cold snap into perspective. Also, we must say, health and safety. I'm not sure you could drive around a lake, really, with your car these days,
He did say, didn't he, that health and safety in those days went right out the window.
Yes.
So please don't try it at home.
There.
Yeah, I don't think we'll get snow that bad, hopefully now. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. OK, next, a teenage heart